Today we have Greg Zirnhelt on the Village in Motion with us, and he's going to tell us a little bit about what's going on in the finance office. So welcome, Greg, and happy Valentine's Day to you.
Happy Valentine's Day.
So what do we got going on in finance office?
Well, one thing that we would want to bring up is we have one of our forums coming up, and that's on March 1st. That's our Residence and Care Agreement Forum.
Yep.
So it's basically going over the different aspects of the contract that people would have signed when they first moved in.
So you essentially are going to take the forum and go step by step through, and what each means. Is that each?
Well, the contract is it's somewhat long, so we won't go step by step. But we'll go over the basics of it, and then we'll have a question and answer part. So if people have questions, that we can address that, just so people have a better understanding of their contract and what it means and things to do to help it make it easier for their family.
How often should we do this? How often should we come in and say, "I'd like to go through my contract with you"?
Well, really, once you have an understanding of it, you don't need to come back in. Yeah. What we suggest is if you have change in your documents, which we keep on file there, if you make an update to your trust or have a new will or any documentation like that, you get a new power of attorney, then we suggest that you bring those new forms to us, and we'll keep that in your file so it'll be updated.
Suppose I lost half of my fortune in the stock market last December, January, when it went down so much. Should I come in and tell you about that?
Well, besides having bad luck, I think the only reason you would need to bring that up is if you came to the point where you would be required to go on spend down. Yeah. And that would be if you were no longer to make payments on your own and you wanted to spend down from your entrance deposit, then that would be brought up with a spend down application. Okay.
So as long as we move along and our income stays about the same and we don't have any big things, we just don't worry about it after we make sure we understand it.
Yeah, once everything's all set, unless you have any questions about a particular subject, there's no need to come in and just to talk about it again. Yeah.
Well, how do you have a full house for this forum yet, or is there still room to sign up?
It's filling up. It's still ready to sign up. You can bring in, there was actually a mass mailing sent out to people to come to it. So you can bring in your forms there to the finance office or drop them off at a front desk. They'll send them to us. But it is filling up, and it is required to sign up to attend to it. Yeah.
Okay. So you just can't drop in?
Yeah. I mean, unless it gets to the end where we do have spots available, but you don't want to take the chance and make sure you have a spot ready for yourself.
Okay, good. So you want to know who's coming?
Yep. Yeah.
All right. What else we got?
Well, one thing that we wanted to bring up, we did start a new AR process, which is basically our accounts receivable or collections process.
Okay.
And that is that we, starting this past month, letters are automatically generated to go out to people that we did not receive a payment from last month.
So if I miss a payment this month, you're going to send me a letter?
Yeah, so an automatic letter will be generated and sent out to you. And we understand there are some circumstances where you may have made a payment late and it didn't show up on the new statement. So that's fine. You can give us a call and talk to us about that. But we are trying to make sure that we are receiving payments, because we've had issues with people not paying, so we don't want to make sure that it's taken care of.
What kind of backlog do we have on not paying in a month?
Yeah. Well, I believe approximately 90 letters went out this month.
Okay, so about 90 out of our 1,700 residents.
Yeah, there are some others that
forgot to pay. That's essentially what it is, because everybody's going to pay you. I mean, we're really not going to try to not pay Greenspring, are we?
Well, hopefully that's true. Yes.
No, I think that's the case, because it's a matter of forgetting it, putting the bill up somewhere, and just not noticing it. I mean, we've gotten to that point where things like that happen to us, you know.
And we understand those, but we do have circumstances where there are people that have not paid for many months.
Oh.
And that's the people that we're really trying to get a hold of and make sure that they realize that they're not paying their bill.
Usually, if you don't pay for 3 or 4 months, you're out. But what's their policy?
Well, there's a process. We have this initial letter, which is more so just a reminder to let people know that you haven't paid. If there's a good reason, please contact us. But there are people that, like I said, that have not paid for many months, and that hurts the community as a whole because we use those payments to run the community.
Well, I guess I don't understand people not paying it, but unless they really have a problem of not getting the money in, or maybe they have a problem like that, but they should come and talk to you about that.
Yeah, there's many different reasons, and some of it can be that someone else is handling their finances, a family member, if they're not able to, and for whatever reason, they're not sending payments. So I mean, each individuals have their own reasons, but there is a part of the population that we have not received payments for from a long time.
I'm darn. Well, you know, that's a good reason though to do the automatic payments, because if you have a possibility of not paying or forgetting, especially 1 month or 2 months. Now, if somebody is deliberately not paying for 3 or 4, 5, 6 months, that's a whole different thing. But you know, I can understand people forgetting to pay this month. I've done it myself.
Yep, definitely. We realize that.
It certainly wasn't intentional. You know?
Yeah, and we do have a process where interest will be charged, but it won't be until after 60 days. Because someone can forget 1 month, but if it is prolonged and it lasts longer than that, then that's something that needs to be addressed. Because it's not fair to other people that are paying on time that some people are not.
Absolutely. Well, I went to the automatic payment just purely because it was a nuisance to think that I forgot to pay the bill on time. I don't like to do that.
Yeah, we highly suggest that people get on the automatic payment because
it's a pretty simple thing.
Right? It's just a form they fill out with a voided check they turn into us. They still get a statement just like usual. They can review the statement because the automatic, the bank transaction doesn't occur until approximately the 20th of the month. So they still have time to review their statement.
And you get your statement before the 15th, don't you?
Yeah, we usually
We've already gotten them.
Yeah, we usually get the statements around the 6th business day, so depending on when the weekends fall. And then we give them to the mail rooms and they distribute it to the community.
Okay. So that gives us about a week to make an adjustment. So if I look at my bill and say, hey, I didn't pay, I didn't get that charge, something happened. So I don't come to you, I go to the dining service or general service or whoever it is, a charge, and say, what's the problem here? And they will go back through the records and say, well, you're right, or no, you signed this.
Yep, yeah. So if it's something specific that you can tell that it's from a certain dining room, we suggest you contact them directly because they'll be the ones making the credit if a credit is due. If it's something you're not sure about, reach out to us, and we don't put charges on the bills ourselves at finance, but we can, if you're not sure who it's from, we can put you in touch with that department.
But if you do know who it's from, you should go to that department.
Correct, yes.
Okay. Well, I had that happen to me. I had a double charge on housekeeping.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So I went down, and no question, that's the case, and so I got the credit the next month. I didn't get the credit that month.
Yeah,
the
that's
next
right.
month.
Yeah, because that statement's already generated, so any corrections would show up on your the following month's statement.
Yeah. So I really recommend that people do the automatic pay. It's so much easier, and you're not going to go through the hassle or the feeling that, hey, I didn't pay my bill last month.
That's right, and like we kind of touched on before, if you won't have to worry about forgetting, or if you're out of town, you don't have to worry about getting a payment to us. It will automatically come from your account.
All right, now what else do we have?
Well, one thing we wanted to touch base on was the access forms that we had sent out for people to access their families' apartments.
They had to be in by the 31st, right?
Yeah, we requested that they would be in by the end of January there, so that we'll keep those in file. And it just makes it a lot easier. Mainly those are for people that don't have trust, because if someone owns a trust, their trustees are allowed access to the apartment automatically, as long as we have that documentation in our
I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah, so it's mainly for people that don't have a trust, or if they have people that are not trustees on the trust that they want to have equal access along with the trustees to gain access. But if someone just has a will and not a trust, then the access form would allow their family to gain access, whoever they put on that form. But one thing to distinguish that between a trust is, though, if they don't have a trust and just a will, they would still need to go to the court system to get basically that will approved or the executors determined by the county.
So that makes a big difference, doesn't it? Now, do you all have anything to do with helping people get a trust?
No, trusts are strictly a legal document. They would have to see an attorney for that.
So there are companies that make a specialty in writing trusts, right?
Yeah, there's different attorneys, or it's a legal document, so I don't want to say that someone else can do it, but it's a legal document, so we would suggest that an attorney.
Yeah. Do you have a list of those people? A list of attorneys?
I think we have a list of some attorneys that are available in our finance office. Yes.
Oh, good. Okay. Well, what else do we have?
Just one thing I just wanted to briefly mention, that the month of January is over, and we did, as far as our finance numbers, we finished positively for the month, which we're very excited about. And I don't want to go into detail about it because Cody is going to be talking about that at the Coffee with the Exec team on Monday.
I suppose if Cody, if the numbers were bad, Cody would let you tell us, huh?
I'm sure that's the case, yes.
Well, and Cody, I understand, is sick today.
Yeah, Cody was out sick, so he just he let us know this morning that he was possibly having some flu symptoms. So definitely, we don't want anyone to come in if they're to pass that around.
And I don't really believe that Cody would have you pass that. But it was a good line anyway.
Yeah.
That's right. Okay, so the numbers are very positive. Well, there was nothing in January that would have been a problem, as I recall. I mean, January was a fairly smooth month. We didn't have a lot of shut down for sickness or anything of that nature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Knock on wood. Yeah.
That's right.
So hopefully we continue that trend throughout the year.
Okay. Anything else?
Not that I can think of right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for coming on, Greg, and I appreciate it and enjoyed talking with you.
Yeah, nice talking to you as well.